Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome again, guys. Welcome back to another video lecture by Kami Microbiologist. My name is Muhammad Kamil Khan and I am the microbiologist. And today in this video lecture, I am going to give you the answer of the question about the coronavirus. A lot of people and my relatives, my brothers, my family members, and my friend as well, they asked me some question which is related to coronavirus. And today in this video lecture, here I'm going to give you answer all these questions. And what kind of question they asked me today in this video, I will talk about this question in a detail. So let's start. Okay, first of all, many of the people ask me about one of the very important question, that what is actually coronavirus. So let me tell you the idea about the coronavirus. Let me a little bit introduce the coronavirus. First of all, let me tell you about the viruses. Viruses are actually infectious particles which is present in the surrounding, okay, which is also present in the environment as well, we can say like that. Remember, if we talked about the coronavirus, so it is also an infectious particle that is present in the environment, in our surrounding. Okay. Remember, coronaviruses, why we call that coronaviruses? We call that coronaviruses because coronaviruses, corona means, it is taken from the Latin word, and corona means crown-like shape. Okay. Then remember, coronavirus is belong to Coronaviridae family. Okay, it's belong to family of Coronaviridae. Yeah, and then most of the people says that coronavirus is now originated right now. It is originated in 2019. But remember, coronavirus is not originated in 2019. It's originated, the first case of the coronavirus was first of all isolated in the Italy country. Okay, and it was named as coronaviruses. And in 2003, then it was, the coronavirus's name is changed, which we call it SARS coronavirus. And after some time, in 2012, the name was MERS coronavirus. Okay. And in 2019, then the name was changed SARS coronavirus 2, or we call it novel coronavirus. So today in this video, I'm going to give answer all about the SARS coronavirus 2, or we call it novel coronavirus or N coronaviruses. Okay. Remember, guys, the coronavirus which is now isolated, which we call it SARS coronavirus 2 or novel coronavirus, it is isolated from the Wuhan city, which is actually the capital of Hubei. So its first cases is isolated in December 2019. Okay, and almost inside the China, almost many of the people are die, and almost inside the China, more than 35,000 people are get recovered. So it means that we can say that the death rate is low as compared to the recovery rate. So it is, so here we get another idea about that it is not too much dangerous as the media explain it. Now, what does SARS means? The SARS, SARS. SARS means, if we talked about the full form of this SARS, so S means severe, A means acute, R means respiratory, and S means syndrome. So it is actually the respiratory disease, SARS COVID-19, or we call it novel coronaviruses. Okay. And now China are one of the first country that bring a control on these viruses. And unfortunately, in our country, if we talked about the rate of the coronavirus inside our country, so almost 50 to 60 people are get infected in our country due to coronaviruses. And still our government try their best that they will bring control on coronaviruses, but it's our own duty. We should have to protect ourselves from the corona. We should have to take care. We should have to take care of the cleanliness. We should have follow the precaution. We should have follow the prevention. Due to this way, we should also protect and recover ourselves from the coronaviruses. Then many of the people talked about the epidemiology of the coronavirus. So remember, it is the pandemic issue. Most of the people talked about what is the epidemiology of the coronavirus. First of all, let me tell you epidemiology. Epidemiology means that how many people die from the coronavirus, how many people get recovered from the coronavirus, and how many people have coronaviruses. So let me tell you the correct information that almost in March 2019, almost 78,000 people are get recovered from this coronavirus, and almost 6,500 people become die from this coronavirus, and above 1 million people have diagnosed, and they are diagnosed with coronaviruses. Among them, China is one of the biggest country who have a lot of patients with the coronavirus, and China is one of the biggest country in which almost many of the people are die inside the China. And China is the biggest country in which almost all the almost 97% people are get recovered, and inside the China almost 2.5% people are get die from the coronavirus. And let me tell you, and now in March, almost China is one of the biggest country who defeat the coronavirus, who bring control on the coronavirus. Okay. Now, if you talked about the other country, so remember, Italy is one of the country who is become infected, who is become the victim of this coronavirus, and almost thousands of people are died from the coronavirus in Italy. Okay, so it's make a lot of trouble in the Italy country. And if we talked about the epidemiology inside the Pakistan, so remember 50 to 60 people are become infected in Pakistan. And if we talked about in India, so almost 80 to 100 people are become infected in India with the coronaviruses. If we talked about some other country, if we talked about our all countries, so almost 150 countries are become the victim of the coronaviruses. And among them, 78,000 people are recovered from the coronaviruses, and almost 6,500 people are died from the coronaviruses. And above 1 million people have coronaviruses. So this is all about the epidemiology of the coronaviruses. Then many people talked about the sign and symptom of the coronaviruses. That what are the main sign and symptom of the coronaviruses? So the main sign and symptom of the coronavirus is a common cold-like main sign and symptom, and they have flu-like symptoms. But after some days, this sign and symptom become complicated and it lead to pneumonia. And after sometimes there will be difficulties during breathing. Okay, like asthma, we call that. So these are the main signs and symptoms of the coronavirus. Then what are the incubation period? Incubation period is the stage in which the signs and symptoms appear, or in which the signs and symptoms of the disease become appear. When the viruses or any kinds of microbes get enter inside your body, after some days it will show the sign and symptom. This stage is called its incubation period. So if we talked about the incubation period of this virus, so remember the incubation period of this virus is less than 14 days. Some people, in some books, in some research paper, they talked about that 5 days. In some books they talked about 7 days. So like that. Okay, so this is the incubation period, but most of the research papers they reported that the incubation period of the coronavirus is almost less than 14 days. Then many people ask about the main causes of the coronavirus. That what are the main causes of this coronavirus? So let me tell you the main causes of the coronavirus. That remember, it is caused by the mammals. And it's caused by birds as well. But most of the time it is caused by the mammals. And all of you better know mammals are those who give milk to their youngs. Okay. Inside the mammals we have a cow, goat, bat, cattle, like these kinds of animals which are involved in the mammals. So especially inside the Pakistan, many of the people they likes the meat too much. And in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, most of the people like the meat too much. Here, being as a microbiologist, I will give you the message. And the message is that you should have to protect yourself. And whenever you eat the meat, you should boil it, completely boil it. and before eating you should boil it. And one thing more, but let me tell you that in this condition avoid from the meat. Okay. Okay. Then another question which is asked by me, many of the people they ask from me that what are the transmission of these viruses. So remember, this viruses is transmitted by the animal. This virus is transmitted by the mammal. Most of the time it is transmitted by the mammals. It is transmitted to animal to human, human to human, and animal to human. We also say like that. And it is also transmitted by the respiratory droplets of the human being as well. So for human being, they should protect their respiratory droplet by the tissue paper or through their hand like that, according to WHO. Okay. Then some of the people says that what are the diagnosis of this viruses? How we can diagnose this viruses? We can diagnose it through the sign and symptoms, as I explained, and we can also diagnose it through a machine which we call a reverse transcriptase real-time PCR machine. So due to this machine we can also diagnose it. Okay. And there are some kits which are available right now. Due to some kits we can also diagnose such a viruses. So what actually going on in this case? So we can diagnose it by taking the droplets of the infected person, and then we checked it under the microscope, and we also proceed such a droplets through the PCR machine, and after that we make sure that what kinds of viruses it is actually. And after one day or after 1.5 hours we got the result. But remember, China make another beautiful kits. Due to this way they can diagnose the viruses within minutes, within a second. Then many people ask me that how exactly the virus look like, how the coronavirus exactly look like. So as you can see on the computer screen, that coronavirus will be look like in this form. So it is oval like shape and it's look like a crown like structure. Means why we call that crown like structure? Because its spikes protein is look like the crown like shape, in a crown like shape. Okay. Then remember, this viruses is the positive single-stranded RNA viruses. Then many people talked about the treatment of this viruses. Is there any treatment for this viruses? So let me tell you about the treatment of this virus. So remember, there is no vaccine, there is no exact treatment of this viruses. But one of the vaccine is formed which we called it mRNA 1273. This vaccine is now formed, but it is proceed in the first level. Vaccine is proceed in the first level. We can't say that vaccine is ready and it is ready to treat ourselves. Such vaccine is provided to WHO, and now WHO is doing a kind of experiment in each vaccine, and inshallah in the future, maybe due to this vaccine we will be protect or prevent ourselves, and maybe in the future this vaccine will be the treatment. Okay. But the working or the procedure is going on this vaccine. Then many people talked about the precaution and prevention. Many people asked me that what are the main precaution and prevention of this virus, how can we protect from this viruses ourselves. So as all of you better know, there's no exact treatment, there's no exact cure of this viruses. So when we follow the precaution, when we follow the prevention, and when we protect ourselves through this viruses, so maybe we can recover, or we can protect it ourselves through this viruses. So the first precaution is that you should avoid from the meat. If you are like the meat too much, so you should boil it. You should boil it for so many time, and after that you can eat it. But here I recommend you that don't eat the meat and avoid yourself from the meat. And you should also avoid yourself from the cattle area. You should also avoid from your pet as well. And you should vaccinate your although there is no specific vaccine, but you should as the people many of the people have dog as a pet, have cat as a pet. So they should bath their cattle with soap. They should bath their cattle and everything. Okay. Now let me tell you another important thing, that infected person, especially for an infected person, they should never shake their hand with the healthy person. They should never close contact with the healthy person, they should never hugging with the healthy person. So that's the message special to the infected person who are infected with coronaviruses. The next prevention is that, or precaution is that, you should frequently wash your hand with the soap almost 20 seconds. For 20 seconds you should wash, and you should also use hand sanitizer, which is available in the medicine shops. And once you washed your hand, then don't touch it with your eyes, don't touch it with your nose, don't touch it with your mouth, because these are the specific way, these are the entry of the viruses. Viruses get entered through this area, through your eyes, through your nose, through your mouth. So viruses get internalized through this specific area. When the viruses are present through the hand, it have not ability to get internalized, okay, because there are a specific layer present on our skin which protect, and it's the first line of defense due to which we are protected from any kinds of the microbes. So when on your hand, it is also present on the solid object, it is also present on the living object as well. So when we touch it, but when your hand is already contaminated, so you should not bring your hand closely to your mouth, because this specific area is the exact entry of the coronaviruses. And the next thing is that you should always take care of the cleanliness. Now those persons who are get infected with the coronaviruses, such people should stay at home, and they should call the helpline of this means infected. The helpline is the 1166, so you should call on that number. Then you should have, when you got the sign and symptoms of the coronavirus, so you should call to them, except that you go to the hospital. Okay, don't go to hospital immediately, because whenever you want to reach to the hospital, so all of you better know, inside the hospital, all the people are present inside the hospital, they are actually immunocompromised people. Their immunity is not too much strong to or their immunity is not too much strong to tolerate such a viruses. So here I recommend to you guys that must stay at home and don't go to the hospital. Okay, you should have to call to the hospital, because once you call to the hospital, so they will arrange all of the things to you. Oh, another thing is that you should have to wear a face mask. Okay, usually the face mask should be, worn by the infected person, not the healthy person. Healthy person can also wear the face mask, but most of the time infected, because infected person is actually the main source, they have the ability to spread these kinds of viruses. So here I will tell you that infected person should wear the mask, not the healthy person. But we should also, for the precaution, we should also wear the mask. Okay, and N95 is the best and well mask, as you can see on the computer screen, N95 mask, and we can also use some other mask as well, as you can see. So you should have to wear the mask. Infected person must wear the mask as compared to the healthy person. And next is that whenever you cough or sneeze, you should have to cover your coughing and sneezing with the help of tissue paper. And many of the people, what actually they are doing, they will cover their mouth and nose from tissue paper, and when they protect their coughing and sneezing with the help of tissue paper, they will throw it on the road. This is not the correct way. What you are going to do, once you protect yourself from this, once you clean your mouth, and once you protect your sneezing and coughing through a tissue paper, then you should burn it. During burning, all the microbes which are present on the tissue paper should be die. So this is the correct way. Some people ask me a question that can we use the handkerchief for sneezing and for coughing? So here I will give you the answer that don't use the handkerchief, because once you use the handkerchief for the sneezing as well as for the coughing, to protect the coughing, sneezing, when you're using the handkerchief, so what actually you guys going to do, you will keep it in your pocket, and all of you better know inside your pocket there is a wallet present. You have inside your wallet there's many present, and we have identity card, and all of you better know these are the main things that we share it to the people. And once we share it to other people, so definitely this virus is also transmitted from infected to the healthy person. So when you're using the handkerchief, you should have also burned it, because handkerchief is. But here I will tell you that don't use a handkerchief as compared to the tissue paper. So most of the time use the tissue paper, and once you use it, then burn it. Before discarding, you should burn it. Then let me talk about, then many of the people says that what are the types of, so we have many types of the coronaviruses, as you can see on the computer screen. We have SARS coronavirus, SARS corona, MERS coronavirus, we have SARS coronavirus 2, we have HCOV229E. So all these, and there are some other coronaviruses as well. Okay, but let me tell you that the most dangerous coronaviruses in the previous are the MERS coronavirus and SARS coronavirus of 2003. 2019 coronavirus is not too much dangerous, as the media exaggerate it. Some of people ask me that what are the life cycle and pathogenesis of these viruses, that once these viruses get internalized inside your body, then what actually it going inside your body, and how it becomes spreading inside your body, and how it show the sign and symptom, what is actually going on inside our body due to which the sign and symptom are appears. So we call that pathogenesis and life cycle of these viruses. Now what actually happened during sneezing and coughing, as you can see in the video, during sneezing and coughing, it is transmitted from infected person to the healthy person, and once in the form of droplets, once it is reached to the infected person, then inside the infected person, what actually going on, they reach to the lungs area. As I already told you, that the main area, the main route of this virus is nose, mouth and eyes. So once it reaches to the lungs area through this route, or nose, mouth and eyes, through this route, then inside the lungs there are some cells present of the lungs area. Bronchus, inside the bronchus there are some cells are present. When they attack on each cell, there are the spikes protein are present. Due to the spikes protein, it will get internalized inside the cell of your bronchus, and once it get internalized, then it reaches to the nucleus. Now near to the nucleus, what actually happen, they will uncoat their protein structure, uncoat their spikes area, and once they release out their protein, coated protein, then the messenger RNA are now internalized in the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, each messenger RNA, positive mRNA, are converted into protein, and they are also converted into messenger's RNA, and now messenger RNA protein are combined together, and it will make the immature coronaviruses. These immature coronaviruses are passes from the endoplasmic reticulum. From the endoplasmic reticulum, they will get the envelope, and then they are passes from the Golgi body. From the Golgi body, they will get the spikes, and after that they will passes from the cell, and they not burst the cell, they are come out from the cell through a budding process. Means they gradually degrade the cell, they gradually die the cell. And we can say that almost one cell have the ability to produce millions of the viruses. Okay. Now then many of the people ask a question that as I already explained, it is not too much dangerous viruses. I already explained the coronaviruses, and I already make a separate video lecture on coronaviruses. You can go back to my channel and watch it. Okay. And then many people ask a question that if I am talking that it's not a dangerous, then why it is present, why it's spread in all the country? Almost 150 countries are become victim of this virus. Why? As I told you, it's not too much dangerous. So remember, the first thing is that there is no treatment of this virus, that's why it's spread. The second is that there is not a proper diagnostic tool, which is right now present, but in the previous it will be it was not present. That's why it spread it too much fastly. Okay, and the next thing is that this virus is get mutated. There is a mutation in the spikes protein of this virus. There is get mutation in the RNAs of this virus. That's why it's spread. It's spread too much in every country. But remember, this virus is not too much dangerous as the media exaggerated. Okay, sometime I watched many videos on coronaviruses on the YouTube, and I watch many of the people, they discussing about the coronavirus with each other. But let me tell you that they don't know about many. I'm very happy when I watch them when they are discussing. But let me tell you an important thing is here that Inside the Pakistan, although the people are although 50 to 60 people are get infected with the coronaviruses, but inside the Pakistan, 1 million expert of the coronaviruses is created. So this is very I can't explain these things. So sometimes I get very happy from this, but sometimes I was very upset. Why I get happy? Because I am very happy that many of the people get knowledge and they're sharing the knowledge about the coronavirus. But among them, some of people can share the wrong information about the coronaviruses, and they says that it is very dangerous and many people die, and they don't know the exact information about that. Whenever you know the exact information, you should search the paper, you should read the research paper which is available in the internet. You should have to search all the research paper. Inside the research paper there will be a correct information about every disease. So avoid yourself from the other people whenever they talked about the coronavirus. So you should have to take the knowledge about the corona from the microbiologist, from the biotechnologist and other medical field related people. You should have to get knowledge from these people as compared to those people who don't know about that. But unfortunately our society, or the people in our society, they ask the question from those people who don't know about the coronavirus. They ask the question from other people, and don't ask the question from the medical related field people. So it's very bad for us. Okay, and try to don't spread the wrong information with the other, and try to avoid yourself from these kinds of wrong information. As I told you, it's not too much dangerous, but still the people explain it too much dangerous. And as I told you that not to 50 to 60 people are get infected from the coronavirus inside the Pakistan, but inside the Pakistan 1 million people are experted about the coronavirus. What's that, yeah? Come on, it's not a joke. Okay, so here I will tell you that leave it, leave this discussion to the microbiologists, leave this discussion to the medical field relative people, leave it to that people, don't discuss it. So here I giving the message to those people who don't know about the coronavirus, but just for their famous, just for their popularity, they explain the coronaviruses. So let's suppose myself, as I already microbiologist, but let's suppose myself, let's suppose I don't know about the microbiology, and whenever I discussing about the coronavirus, so it's not well for me. Those people who know about the coronavirus, who know the microbiology, who know the biotechnology, who know the medical related field, they should explain, and because they know the correct information, so leave it. So leave the information to these people, okay, and leave it to discuss the coronavirus. And it's not your duty, that's not the duty of the other people to discuss the coronavirus, because they will discuss the coronaviruses in a wrong way. Okay, now let me tell you once again, as I told you so many times, that it's not a dangerous disease, but still 6,500 people are get died from disease. How? Remember, those people are become the victim of the coronavirus when their immunity is too much weak. Immunocompromised people are become the victim of this viruses. And other thing is that those people or those human being whose age is higher, or means if we can say who is older age, like 50 or 60-year-old, such people are also not the victim of the corona. But if these people have other kinds of disease like blood pressure, sugar, and if they are the victim of these diseases, so definitely they will be the victim of the coronavirus, and they will be not they can't beat the coronaviruses. So we can say such people should be die, and such people will die from this coronaviruses. But those people who are the young generation, those people who are mentioned in the young generation, and those people who have strong immunity, they can, such viruses when get internalized, so it will show a very a common cold or flu-like symptom, which is not too much dangerous as compared to other diseases. Okay, and after some days it will get recover. So we can say it's not too much dangerous as the people. Now remember, due to this way, there is a kinds of hormones which is created inside your body, and this hormone acting as a toxin, and due to this way, this hormone may cause the death. Okay, due to thinking negative, due to thinking whenever you are thinking negatively, whenever you are thinking not positively, and whenever you get afraid, so due to this way, hormone is created inside your body, and such hormone acting as a toxin, and due to this way you will be die. So except that coronavirus, you are become the victim of the coronaviruses, you will be victim of your wrong thinking. Okay, and due to wrong thinking, it will create a blood pressure like symptom, it will create a hypertension like symptoms, it will create any other disease in your body. So almost 90%, or we can say 70% diseases arises in our body due to our negative thinking. Okay, inside Hazara division, we have almost 90% snakes are present, and they are non-toxin, but many of the people die due to these snakes. The reason behind that, the people who are die from the snake, they have, they are afraid, and they think negatively, and they think that this is too much dangerous for. That's why due to this way they got the victim of the hypertension, they got the victim of other diseases. Due to this way they got die. But those people, almost 10% snakes in Hazara division, 10% snake are the toxin. Okay, now let me tell you an interesting story here. Maybe it will give you courage to fight against the coronavirus. So let me tell you a very interesting story. In United States, America, one of the prisoner was sentenced to die, was ordered to die. So the scientist says that we don't want to kill this prisoner with the hanging over, and we should kill it through the snake bite. So the same story is also heard by the prisoner. They told to the prisoner that you should be killed by the snakes, and due to this way the prisoner was too much in a stress, and they thinking negatively, and they are become the victim of other diseases like hypertension and blood pressure, and some other diseases is created in their mind due to fearness, due to the afraid. And when they tie their eyes, and when they tie their hand, and after that what actually happened, the scientists just inject a kind of pin in their foot, and after that the prisoner got die. So the scientist was too much surprised that what's going on. We didn't provide the snake to bite the prisoner, and how he got die. Then after the investigation, after the research, they come to the point that these people got die due to negative thinking, due to other kinds of diseases. It can die with this with this injection. This is all about the very exact story. So here I talk to you that don't get afraid, and don't become yourself psychological. Don't become yourself as a psychological patient. Okay. Then they got another experiment. Another prisoner. What actually they told to the prisoner that we will kill you with the help of the snake. We will kill you with the help of the injection, not with the snake. So they, tie the eyes of the other prisoner, and after some time, they, provide the snake on their feet, and the snake bite it. And after some time, this prisoner got life. This prisoner survived. Why? When they search, when they diagnosed, so then they come to the point that when the people don't think negatively, when the people are too much active, then their immunity are too much strong. Due to this way, the people, there's not such a toxin hormones created inside our body, and due to this way our immunity are become strong, and they will protect our body. So we can say whenever we don't think, whenever we are not afraid from any kinds of the diseases, whenever we not afraid from any other dangerous things, so we are survived, we can survive from everything. Okay, so here I am telling you and I'm advising to you guys that don't be afraid from these viruses, and try to protect yourself, and just try to follow the precaution, and you can protect yourself from such a diseases. Next thing is that let me tell you another important thing is that remember, once this virus is spread, then unfortunately we can't control it. We can't control their spreading, their transmission. Okay, but China is one of the biggest country who control the spreading of these viruses, and nowadays there is very less cases of the coronaviruses in China, and nowadays there is a high cases and high mortality rate in the Italy, unfortunately. And inside the Pakistan, unfortunately, we can't control the spreading of such a viruses. But when we follow the precaution, and when we follow the WHO guideline, so we should protect ourselves. But here again I am telling to you that it's not too much dangerous viruses, but still you should have to follow the precaution. So this is all about the correct information about the coronavirus, and this is all the answer of the question which is asked by me, which is asked by me of the some of the students, some of the friends, and some of my relatives as well. I hope you get idea about that, but if still you have any kind of confusion about that, you can write your question through a comment. Inshallah, I will try my best to give you answer as soon as possible. I hope you like this. If you like this, make sure to hit the like button, share this knowledge with your friends, and definitely subscribe the channel to get more interesting videos. Thank you so much for watching.